Hello and welcome to Big Scott 35 Saturday Chat. In my hotel room this morning, before going over to the show, probably be going a little, not terribly later today, but a little later. Uh, it's one of these shows, if you're not there an hour early to get in line, you're going to be in line for a while. So I'd just rather park further away and walk. Uh, One of the gripes people were talking. I got there yesterday. I got there around 3 ish, I guess. I didn't park too terribly far away. I know today's going to be busier. It opened at 1, and I guess it was a line. But I, I went uh, at 3, no line, walked a little bit. By 3, some people were leaving. They were already in and out, did whatever they were going to do, which I found odd. But you know, and for all the cars that are out front, it wasn't really packed in there, even with all the Eagles. So when the Eagles started, I guess around 5 or 6, they started doing the autographs, and it loosened up really even more. I mean, I felt like I had the whole floor to myself. Um, but I'll talk more about that when I do my recap, and I won't be on tomorrow night, Sunday night, because I will be driving home. I think a couple of us after the show ends early, so probably go get something to eat with a couple people, and then go head back and make the drive back. It's almost 8 hours for me to drive here. It was an easy drive. I wasn't planning on coming up 95 because DC and Richmond too. If you never drove through Richmond during the day, it could be pretty bad on 95. But I zipped right on up. No problem, especially DC. I was shocked. It was more traffic in Richmond than DC. A couple of when lanes merging was a couple of holdups on the north side around Baltimore. But yeah, and then before I got into Pennsylvania, or anyway, I had started taking back roads, got on the Route 1, and then I'm in King of Prussia, is where I'm staying. 15-minute ride, 4 miles. I don't think it took me 15 minutes to get there yesterday, and so I was happy. My GPS gets me in the back door of a lot of places. So they were telling me I was going to be on some highway downstairs, and I don't think I ever touched that highway. So if I did, it was like for a second. Um, One thing I did notice for a fat guy was after the show, I was like, it was so late and we didn't end up eating. I was so tired. I was like, I'm just going to go through a drive through and hit it. But I could not find a drive through. I passed on a Taco Bell between here and there, and I should have went to the Taco Bell. That's how bad it was. I finally found a Burger King and got me a burger, and man, I passed out. And long day. I did pick up a few things. I met up with Mike, Ed, and Reese in D. Finally got to meet Reese in person. Awesome fella. Uh, Talked to a couple of dealers, that I've got to know a little bit over the different shows. Uh, Floors laid out pretty good. A lot of space so far. But today is the telling day, and I probably have more to talk about on my Let's Talk, and I'll do that Monday night. Um, and so, but I'll have more thoughts on it. But I just wanted to go over kind of my tactics when I go to a non national. Is I like to walk around, get the lay around. Me and Ed talked about it. I like to watch to see what's going on at the show. Um, there was a lot of people selling to the. I mentioned this before at another show. A lot of cards are going in the opposite direction that you're usually seeing. Um, a lot of vintage going in the opposite direction, but I saw all kinds of stuff. Uh, I was happy to see a little bit of WNBA going on there. Uh, Not much hockey. Not a For being a Philadelphia show. I thought I'd see more Flyer stuff. I thought it'd be more of a hockey area. I've only seen one table that was dedicated, and it's the same table I see at other shows. Uh, but he's got great stuff. He's a lot of young guns and a lot of future star autos. There's SP. Very nice stuff. So, and I walked around and basically was looking. I have two things right now that I'm kind of weighing on for bigger. If I want to buy something, if I don't find another card that fits my PC, and I'd like to have y'all's thoughts. I'm a Gary Carter collector, and I have that picture that hangs behind me in videos with the four catchers at the Hall of Fame at the lake, uh, at their dinner. Name all four autographed it. Well, I found another one similar, but it's in their uniforms, playing poses, and they autographed it with the Hall of Fame insignia, of course. And I found that, and it's very cool. Trying to find Gary Carter stuff. I did find a couple of things with Gary Carter on, and which I picked up very cheap, $5 yearbooks, uh, later '80s stuff, right before he left, uh, and I picked up something that I think my dad's gonna really like, and I can't wait to show that off. But I ain't gonna show that yet. Um, and also, so I found that, and I found the year that they made the puzzles, right? The full size that they gimmicked either 2 years ago. What year? You're gonna have, I think it was 71. They did the puzzles, right? Um, it's bigger, a little bit bigger than 5x7. So I have that of Johnny Bench. They're roughly the same price. I can only afford one because I already made one purchase. I really don't want to go back on my word and pull out more money to buy both. There's always another day. Like I said, the biggest thing to overcome in our hobby is FOMO. But I'm still walking around, and uh, I'm looking for a Campy, man. And I found the year of the black and white Bowman, and I'm kind of still learning this whole. And it was raw. I found two Bowmans. They were raw, and I felt like they were really overpriced for. I always leery when the vendor is older because they're old school, and they've already put on there excellent mint, near mint, and it's not graded. It's just handwritten. They did it, or they have a book price and a now price on it. Those type of things really. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I was wore out last night. I passed out. Reese was wore out. We just decided just to go pass out. But those types of things make me leery and kind of standoffish. And I'd rather find it graded, so that way I know I have. And that's one of the top reasons for graded cards. That's why I'm glad I got into it, especially for vintage, for somebody that is. Granted, I'm learning on every level of this hobby, but you know, uh, I've never really. I bought vintage before, but pre-war, the older Bowman stuff, it's that's all kind of new to me. I did find a couple of the TV Bowmans of him as well. Um, One was graded at a 7, so I couldn't afford that because those are just notoriously all centered. Man, I found a really nice Yogi, really nice Bowman Yogi. And that's in, it's in also another one that's on my list of maybe. And what I'm hoping for is by Sunday, somebody buys one or two of these things so I don't have to worry about it, right? Uh, and it's always, the next show, that stuff. It's not a shortage of any of these things, right? They'll come back around. The only one that really questions is I've never seen that picture. The picture I have behind me, that's a printed picture. People, there's a finite number because Gary Carter's no longer with us. Uh, but, it's still a lot of them out there. That one I saw yesterday was the first one I ever saw of that. It was already framed too. That's a plus. I don't with what I paid for it, that other one and going to Hobby Lobby and getting it professionally done was about the price of what I would pay for this one. So it's right in range. And I'll wait till Sunday, hit it with a low ball, try to get it down a little bit. Uh, but I'm looking at that, trying to figure out, and that's what I love. I mean, even shopping on a budget, right? Whatever that budget is, to have to be able to have selections, have an opportunity to have choices, at every budget. I picked up some very cheap. Me and Ed found somebody had very good prices on some stuff, WNBA especially. Um, I don't think he was very happy because we about wiped him out of like the good stuff, and it was only Friday, but it is what it is. I know a lot of those people bring that stuff thinking, oh, that'll bring women or kids to the table, but I told me and Ed are WNBA fans, so that's it is what it is. So I picked up some of those. I can't wait to show y'all later Wednesday on those. And yeah, that's kind of my strategy as I walk around, little things here and there. Like Mike was picking up something, and I picked up two Mets, a photo book and a yearbook. I'm getting I'm really starting to like yearbooks and things like that. Just different stuff like that, pictures. Uh, and I got them even cheaper than what they were. So I did pick up a couple of blasters that Mike had. I forgot to give Ed. I forgot to bring Ed his blasters. Left them sitting there, and just in a rush, not in a rush to come. I knew I wanted to get here at a certain time because Mike only had one day, and he really wanted to hang out some at the show. But Mike likes to do his thing. He wants to see the whole show. So I left him to that. I didn't want to slow him up any, so kind of let him go with that. So uh, we did find our. If you were at the last Chicago National, you know that these things are like crack. We got this stuff there. I guess chocolate covered, like blueberries, cherries, and some almonds down here. I think they're almonds, and they're so good. And I got some fudge too from them. I asked them if they're going to be at the national. The girl goes, "I just work for them. I don't know." So I was like, "Okay," but yeah, I picked that up yesterday. I got a hot dog, and that was my first purchase. So that was the funny deal with my friends. It's like I'm going to flip some fudge at the show for some cards. But yeah, that was my first day overall. Not too crazy. First time to the Philly show, that was a big deal. I really enjoying the driving aspect. My GPS takes me in weird places. I got some country in outside of just driving right up 95 in the concrete jungle. So, uh, I got to see a little bit of rural northern Maryland and some Pennsylvania, which was pretty cool. Also a little weird. I'm gonna keep that to myself. But yeah, I kind of got confused in what part of the country I was in at one point. But yeah, other than that, very nice drive. And that's kind of the way I do like shows that's outside of National. Now, National, I might see something that's at a good price on Friday or Thursday or Wednesday. It's you're taking a chance sometimes if you see it at a good price that's going to be there later, or B, if that dealer has a bad show, he might not come down on that. And some people just like to have museums. Um, I find that more at the national. So I kind of changed it up to where I might, if it feels right, I just go ahead and pull the trigger. Right, that walking around, but like at these little shows, only take a smaller amount. It does come out of our national budget, so I am a little bit more particular, less FOMO-ish. Try and I just patience. I think a lot more people. Ed started saying that a couple of years ago. I think Brandon Bobbles talked about it this past week or week before. Patience is the name of this hobby, man. That's all these people are looking for the quick flip, the quick dollar amount, and that brings a lot of enjoyment to people that do that, the hustle. Uh, but us old guys, I'll tell a story one day or if you already know the old bull and young bull, uh, pretty good. I don't think it's should be, one day, maybe I'm alive, but not today. Not on a Saturday morning Cartoon Network. I very rarely cuss or rant on here, so. But I had day one, great time. Didn't get to see the whole floor. I didn't even take my backpack. I wish I did because I didn't think I was going to pick up anything. I didn't take my camera. I didn't my video camera. I didn't get anything. And probably that was a fool of me because I think it's going to be so crowded today where it's not going to be fun to do that. And if that's the case, I'll get what I can and get more tomorrow because usually notoriously Sunday on 3-day shows is dead. They don't even have autograph signings tomorrow. It's only 9:30 to 3. Um, so, I'm hoping, and usually, I feel like that's when the deals are struck. And, you know, but if you have a FOMO issue, it's hard to do. And I'm just having fun. Like I said, meeting Reese, getting to walk around with him, talking to him, get to know him a little bit better. Awesome time doing that. You know, I always love to see where my friends are heads are at when they're at these shows. Like watching Mike and how he is, what he's looking for is pretty cool. Ed, Ed Doge himself, he is, looking for the deal. He's the art of the deal is Ed. He's always looking for that deal. So it's always fun watching him. And and when you're buying something, he's standing there, you got to win type of deal. And he's doing it tongue in cheek, but it's fun. It's always fun to do that. And it's always fun to go to shows with friends. At home, I don't get that. If I go to Hickory, Jake and all those guys are there. But my small little shows around town, and we got some bigger ones now in Winston that might be where people start coming to. I'm interested to see. But yeah, I mean, let me know like what your thought is. Like if you had a main PC guy, and would you just say, yeah, screw it, get the main PC piece? Or, and I love Johnny Bench too. That was my first, I fell in love with he was my first, and I fell in love with my bounce back, my second. So, you know, two great pieces. He's got it's a guy I met through Mike, and now I've gotten to be friends with him. He's got another piece. He's really dropping his prices for me because I bought some nice stuff from him. He's the guy I bought the Johnny Bench meat card from. So I feel like it was almost yesterday. Like, man, I need for these two items. I should just go and pay everything now and just say I'm done for the weekend. Just hang out. But I know if I do that, and I would go over my budget, I will have to that would be going against my own rules, and I look at my rules for this type of thing for money is more of for me a morality issue, trying to stop greed and just overspending. I try to bring that in a little bit, and that's why. So I take it very seriously. And if you're wondering, well, just spend the money. It's coming out of your buying cards account anyway. But once I set myself like I'm doing this, I kind of stay in that. I wish I could do that with my weight loss. It's hard. I tend to have triggers, and I don't have that. But in my card world, my hobby world, I tend to stick to that. So I feel better about it. But I've rambled on enough. I don't have, this is off my camera. Sorry, it's at a weird angle. Hotel room's awesome. I'm actually sitting at like a dining room / office table. I have a little bitty kitchen behind me. It doesn't have a burner, but I have a sink, and it's almost like a wet bar. You see cabinets back there. I have a couch with a pull out, and then I have another room that's my bedroom, and then a nice bathroom. So this is almost better or bigger than my Airbnb in Chicago with my friends last time. So I already texted that, and it's kind of funny. But yeah, very nice accommodations here. The Holiday Inn Express in Prussia, King of Prussia. And I drove through Brandywine, and if for a historical guy that really loves the Revolutionary War history, that was it choked me up a little bit driving through Brandywine. So I do love that type of stuff. So anyway, till Monday night, like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't, please, and just let me know your thoughts on shows, or would you go with your main PC or go with your first love, whatever, let me know. Until then, see ya.